Finish the story.
He just wants a friend.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. His ass crashed because he wasn't watching the road.
Despite the monster.
What he just did is illegal.
Yeah, because his ass wasn't looking straight ahead. Don't play that old Larry. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. Come play. Or as I told Martin, I was describing a movie about ice cream to him earlier, cone play. Sounds like ice cream sex acts going on. Just doing a little cone play. You don't eat that, Martin. But yeah, Come Play. Come Play is a movie about a boy and his imaginary friend. Usually that's a sweet story, but not in the case of Oliver. And this is the last thing Oliver needs. Before I even start this review, let me just tell you about Oliver in this movie. Oliver is a kid. He has autism. He's struggling with his condition. His parents are about to split. And if that wasn't bad enough, now to top it all off, he has an otherworldly creature that's trying to be his BFF.
God damn. This kid can't catch a break.
He cannot catch a break, man, at all. The kid don't want nothing but to sit at home and play with this stolen iPad that his dad got. But, you know, this poor kid, man. And I think that's why this otherworldly creature whose name is Larry. That's why Larry.
So intimidating. The creature from another realm. Larry.
That's why Larry said, you know what? Well, you know, little Oliver can't talk. That's perfect for a predator like me. Come in and swoop his ass up.
These damn ghosts.
They're
always going after little kids.
These damn ghosts don't give a damn. And it's getting worse. Oh, but the thing is that even though mom and dad are separated, at least they do know that there is a demon or otherworldly creature in Oliver's life, and they're there to help him out.
Okay, that's good. That's something different.
That's a little something different right there. It's not Oliver just sitting up here talking about, and they like, oh, baby, you just crazy. Now, I'm not talking about autistic people. I'm not. This movie is dealing with autism. I know there's a lot of people who are sensitive about autism. We have some people who have children who are autistic.
Yes.
So I don't want to say anything that's going to make people upset or anything like that. I'm strictly talking about the movie because the movie does approach autism in its way. I will even say that I have questions about how this movie approaches that for some people out there who have autistic people in their lives. But let's go ahead and take a look at the adventures of Larry and Oliver.
Finish the story.
He just wants a friend.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. His ass crashed because he wasn't watching the road.
Despite the monster.
What he just did is illegal.
Yeah, because his ass wasn't looking straight ahead. Don't play that old Larry.
Also, I guess there's no just throwing this iPad away.
No, because I will say Larry does come through. Once he got a screen,
he's coming through all of the
He's coming through phones. Man, they had to take all electronics out the house at some point and throw all that shit out. And I'm surprised when the neighbors won't come out snatching that shit out. Shit, Larry don't want me.
Damn. Is Larry Slenderman's cousin or something?
He's Slenderman without the suit, without the cool jacket and shirt.
Put the suit back on, Larry, please. Do us all a favor.
Oh, you know, look, I'll say this. I'll say this about the movie. And I don't know how you feel because I saw it and you saw it, Chris.
I did.
Martin didn't get a chance to see it, but you know, I will say that it definitely has some creepy parts. Now, this is based on a short film by the same director here. You know, it's kind of like what they did with Lights Out, I believe. Like they made it a feature-length movie because
went viral and everything.
This happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like now, if you go to a film festival, like the shorts program, you think you're going to see a bunch of short stories, and what you actually see is a bunch of proof of concepts for
Pitches.
what they want. Yeah, pitches for bigger
demo
movies.
reels.
Yeah. And you know, but this does have some creepy parts in it.
Yeah.
Also, I have some observations and questions about this. Questions. And these observations and questions actually made this probably funnier than the director intended.
Oh, there are several scenes in this. I'm like, you made this so unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
First out laughing. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah,
I text you about one of them.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you. Man, I will praise the film though. I will praise it because I believe that as far as being a genuinely scary, non-condescending horror movie that kids can watch with their parents, and the parents will actually probably be scared too, I believe that this is that, man. I believe it's a great Halloween movie for kids. It teaches a lesson because the kid can watch this without having to, and the parents can watch it with them without having to worry about blood and gore. Mm-hmm. There is no heavy cursing in this. I think, a kid just freaks out and like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And that's about as bad as it gets. This is PG-13. But, it's a horror movie that actually is kind of creepy and has a positive message to it. That message is, it teaches lessons on acceptance. It actually shows, it shows understanding of people who are different. Shows kids that parents can get divorced and it doesn't have to be some big screaming match, that both parents can amicably split and also still love their kid and have the kid's best interests at heart. Also, I think it, in addition to acceptance, is also accepting people who are different because they behave differently, because they do have an autistic condition. Having a kid here be autistic is something that I thought was actually pretty cool as far as making him the main character who's seeing this. For me, kind of hit as far as a movie for the whole family, and I'm not talking about wholesome, I'm talking about scare the out of everybody. I did not find it that scary, to be honest with you, but I will praise the movie for what it does. Right.
It does the same tropes that we so often see in a lot of horror films. There are a ton of jump scares. Mm-hmm. They're doing that. This feels like a Twilight Zone or an Outer Limits episode. It's like you cut out that 37 minutes, maybe just make it under an hour. You could have something that is pretty memorable, but because you have that extra 30 minutes of the mom and dad kind of going back and forth, not arguing, but just dealing with millennial parent stuff, which I'm glad we've come to a point where we're past like the baby boomer and Gen X parents, and now we're just fully into the millennial parents thing. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of refreshing, but there's just a lot of unnecessary stuff, and you could have gotten to the scares a lot quicker had you just made this, honestly, an episode of TV.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's, being a short, they didn't do a really effective job at expanding this. I mean, because they do have the atmosphere. Yeah. They have the creepy atmosphere. They actually
great lore established too.
Yeah, they do a lot with creating a spooky environment. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't make that much sense. I might be missing something right here. The dad works in a booth, a parking booth. Yeah. That looks like most of the time, it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they don't usually have those manned unless it's at a military base or something.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is the middle of nowhere, and they got his ass there in the middle of the night, and I'm thinking like, why do people even pay? Because you could just drive around that shit.
There's barely any cars in the parking lot.
There's no cars in the parking lot. They look like this shit's in the middle of the desert. Yes. He's a man child. They do. When you said millennial parents, it's like, yeah, y'all, maybe mom, but dad shouldn't need this kid right now.
They had him when they were very young, and they got married just because of the pregnancy, and it's all unraveled because they didn't know each other, but they have this kid, and the mom's more dedicated than the dad is, but the kid loves the dad more than the mom, even though she's more dedicated.
Because dad is goofy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because dad can come in,
makes him laugh.
Yeah, dad doesn't have to discipline him or be the one to tell him, could you please sit down? Because he ain't there with him all day. Yeah. He comes in, he's like, hey, buddy, hey, what'd you do today? Get on mom's nerves. All right.
That's a scene in the movie, actually.
It kind of is. Yeah. But when to me it didn't really make much sense. Now I look at it, maybe there's a gate he has to open up over there or something.
I ain't see no gate.
I don't see nothing in the movie.
Far away.
I saw nothing but a void. It's like he's on the moon.
Maybe there's a door to another dimension that he has to monitor.
How you doing, John? Hi, Larry. Passing through.
Yeah, him and Larry work together. Yeah, because this fool is in the netherworld right now. He's doing parking for demons and shit. It's like there's nobody. Every night there's one car that goes by. That's about it. Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes you got to let go. What do you want? You want this to be logical, or do you want it to be effective? And I guess, again, speaking from the point of view, making images that could scare both mom and dad and the kids, I guess it could work that way. Again, because there's no blood. There's just, ramp up to tension and a glimpse at the creature, better known as Larry.
Is this the infamous haunted scream? It's okay. Hey, you know how your nightmares aren't real?
I should tell you to put that shit down now.
Why are you showing this to your kid in the first place?
Oh, that's nothing. Happens all the time. Don't worry.
Yeah. that light hadn't twitched like that in years. The moment you said Larry, it was like a
Sorry, son.
Shit. I'll tell you, Oliver's the only one that got sense. Oliver's like shit. I can't talk, but my eyes should tell you to put that shit down.
They do a great job making him competent in the movie. Yeah. So I appreciate that. That's one really good thing.
Yeah. And we failed to mention that they find a haunted iPad that has the story of Larry on it. If you read the story of Larry has, well, shit. Y'all call me. I gotta show up. And you gonna still read this shit? All right, so that's why you got exactly what you got coming.
Hey,
He's naturally
man,
curious.
You know you would keep reading.
Shit,
you would. You'd be so intrigued. You're like, who did these illustrations? Who would come up with this thing?
Honestly,
this is
man,
crazy.
Honestly, Larry is like any self-publishing comic artist or on DeviantArt, where like, can you just download my story and read it? Because he sends this to so many people throughout the movie, like constantly, over and over again. And they're like, I'll just read it, all right? I'll scroll through. I'm done.
That is true. He's trying to get everybody to read his own fan fiction.
Can you give me some likes here? Can you spread it, share it, please? Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It's like, God damn it, Larry, take it easy.
All right, what's it called? Okay, what's this shit called, Larry? Larry. Get out of here.
All right, okay, sure. Let's do this, huh?
Happens all the time.
So get the fuck. See? That shit does not happen all the time. We saw his ass in that booth the night before. It was just as bright as in there. No,
enjoying himself,
having fun. That white people shit, man.
Hey, man, we're naturally curious. We can't help ourselves sometimes. You know what? It's been our hand in the past.
Let's see what else Larry can do.
I'm curious.
Larry kills a guy in a booth. I wonder where this is going. No spoilers now. I will also say that this is from Amblin. Now, this is Steven Spielberg's company that was started back in the day.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I know, because they hadn't seen that logo in so long.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the company that gave us such classics as Gremlins and E.T. Pretty much if some spooky or fantastical shit happened in the suburb and the kids found it, then Steven Spielberg's Amblin was putting it out there.
Right.
And that's what you kind of see here with this. It's Amblin was always cool at making the suburbs seem way more interesting than what they really were.
Right.
Yeah.
Either something scary was happening or freaky was happening, or it was joyfully fantastic, so everything that a bunch of bored suburban kids wanted to happen. Because there was shit going on.
Honestly, it feels like the concept, the script got past someone's desk and going, oh, Larry, a friend from another dimension. Yeah, like E.T., Gremlins. This will be perfect. And they just went ahead and start the production not knowing how dark it actually was.
Everybody just kept reading the premise. This is Amblin material, of course.
Yeah.
Green light.
Love it. Yeah, man. It's also another movie where, as we saw before, and you'll see it here, this is something where if somebody reads about Larry, the lights start blowing out. And I'm talking about like a flicker here and there. Like every time people start reading, shit blows out. Yeah. Every time they read, a bulb blows out. And these people cannot stop reading.
All right, let me ask you this. Is there anybody who reads, the bulb burns out, and then they watch it happen to someone else? Or is it just each individual person it happens to, but no, they don't know that it's happening?
There's groups
everywhere.
of people.
There's a group of kids, and one of them even says, "Man, start reading that shit." And like, no, wait a minute, this Larry guy is really interesting.
He was the dumb one, though. He was the dumb kid.
He was the bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he could, boy, for him, Larry was a page turner. He could put that down. Shit, Stephen King right there.
And tries to hide his face.
Boy, Larry need to eat. Got them little legs right there.
Yeah, he's got that Christian Bale in the machinist look.
That's exactly it.
He's even doing what Christian Bale does.
Weird posing. I look great, right? I'm hot.
Maybe we should stop reading.
Shit, that is good. You see what he looking at? No, hell no. This Larry guy, he's good.
He needs you to know his whole story to turn those windows into doors. What does that mean?
And cue.
I like the way Larry means this, bitch. Keep reading on. What do you think so far? Look, I'm gonna tell you something. My biggest problem with this is Larry. Because Larry actually looks cool. Larry is a cool, creepy design. And like Amblin films that we were talking about back in the day, you know, much like Gizmo and E.T., you know, they take their time revealing him. You know, they show you a foot here and there, and you know, a hand and whatnot. Yeah, so you know, it's cool with that, and I really like the design of Larry. But I'm just not buying Larry's bullshit. Larry comes in with his own story. Let me see, go to the trailer. Larry comes in with his own story. Larry's trying to tell people in the movie, he's like, no, so you don't understand the reason why I'm like I am and what I do. You know, that's because of y'all, man. Y'all made me like this. And like, no, out of here, Larry. No, Larry, just admit who you are. You're a pedophile. All right, I mean that's what Larry is, man.
My whole thing is the fact that he has this little short story says, "You've done this before."
Yeah, you've done this before.
You have illustrations now. It's like, now make sure I look all creepy, but also kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I'm snatching up little boys, man, that's because y'all made me like this. He has this whole sad story, like, man, if the world was better and people were better to each other, old Larry would have to be like, man, shut the f up, Larry.
Little boys weren't so goddamn cute. I wouldn't have a problem, now would I?
And picking on the one, if they weren't so cute and some of them couldn't talk and scream when I pull them away, you know, world be much better. Man, shut the f up, Larry. Larry's sitting up here Larry blaming everybody but himself. I got mad at Larry in this, man. F Larry. I got a hashtag, F Larry. In this movie right here, because I look at Larry, he made an app that looks like a children's book.
Right.
Mm-hmm. An app that looks like a children's book that he went out his way to make. This shit I'm looking at this shit has nice illustrations in it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to put it on the App Store. That costs money. Mm-hmm. And and you're doing all this snatching up to lure little kids in and snatch them up talking about, I just want a friend. Your big ass could get grown friends. You don't need no children in this shit.
I'm sure he's tried to get grown friends and they were too creeped out by him.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. So he's like, well, all right, maybe if I just lower my targets.
So he can think, no, man.
Kids are gullible. They'll believe things.
No, I would think that if you weren't going out your way to make shit that would actually appeal to kids and pull them in, and then go and let's just point out the real obvious right here. And you're a big ass creature who could have had all kind of names. The creature from the void, creature from the darkness. You know, I don't know, Lanky Larry. You know, anything.
Larry.
No, what's your name? Larry. That's. But what you do, I hate to say it, I don't want to make this the next Karen, but Larry's kind of a pedo name. Story-wise, I felt like people were way too they're freaked out, but people are way too comfortable with knowing that there's an otherworldly creature coming after their kids. It's like once they find out, they're like, okay, well, that's
hey, 2020, why not?
yeah. What?
There is a scene in this movie where they figure out Larry's entire just how he operates and everything. I'm like, based on a drawing, I'm like, oh. Shit.
They figure out shit way too quickly and way too easy.
Where I'm like, I thought the kid was just going, no, it's just cool. Look how you could see it through the paper. He's just like, Jesus Christ, that's not what I was going at. No. Ridiculous. That scene, I'm like, no, you're reading too much into that.
Mom, who played
John
the parents?
Gallagher. John
Gallagher's the dad, and who's the mom?
Gillian
Jacobs.
Jacobs. Yeah.
Jillian Jacobs from Community, you said.
Yeah,
That's right.
and John Gallagher, he was just in Westworld season 3.
That's where I saw him. I was like, all right, where was this guy? Because I do remember him. I had to read to find out. I remember him in, what is it?
10 Cloverfield Lane and Hush.
Yeah, I
really good in Hush.
I forgot that he was in Westworld. That's where I saw him.
He's a good actor.
No, he is. And actually, he's very likable in this. He's just a goofy kind of unintentionally deadbeat dad. He just doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
But they figure out Larry way too easily.
I was kind of shocked by that. I was like, how did you read all that from that? Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way.
That was ridiculous. I know you only have an hour and a half, but come on now.
Yeah, which is way too long.
Exactly. Man. Yeah.
And another thing.
and another
thing. Did SpongeBob buy some product placement ads in this? Because that fool is everywhere.
Always. Because Oliver, he always is watching on his phone like SpongeBob episodes. There's like at least more than 5 scenes with him watching something from one of those SpongeBob episodes. It's crazy. I don't know why.
Oliver even sits there and starts, when he gets scared, he's like, and she's like, the mom is like, are you singing SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Like,
He hums the theme song throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's used as like a Hail Mary at the end too.
Really?
Yeah. SpongeBob helps deceive Larry.
Yeah, he just says like, ah!
No, it's like, shit, what the fuck is that?
Over here, Larry.
That's scary. I'm not going over there. No.
Yeah, SpongeBob got on Larry's goddamn nerves.
Yeah.
The bullying in the movie is approached very well.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there's no prison beatdown in the middle of the school square where the teachers
you actually
present?
I don't want to spoil it, but I would just say this. You feel sympathy for the bully.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you really do after a certain point. They handle the bullying very, very well in this. Yeah, I mean, there are some good things in here. It's just, I just think it suffers from pacing issues, like you said,
Should
man.
have just been an hour less than that.
Because now that it's longer, they got to explain more.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem with this for me, man. The mystery would have worked better. And even then, the mystery doesn't always work. I'm like, okay, look, I like the idea of a haunted iPad.
It's different.
It's different. I think what I liked about the idea of the haunted iPad when it was working for me is when you have and that's another thing. Larry spent some money on this shit. Mm-hmm. His shit comes with a great artist and somebody programmed augmented reality with it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn, Larry didn't spare no expense. That's how I know. That's how I know you around. These kids.
He's done it before, man.
You've done this before.
It's a racket.
It's a trap. But I like the idea of a haunted app with augmented reality, because what you can do is you hold it up like they've had stories about cameras and lenses where it can see things and nobody can see.
Right.
And I thought augmented reality was the next logical step. But when Larry had a whole illustrated book with it, and the shit had to be downloaded and all, I was like, all right, that threw it off for me. I like the mystery more of what this app was seeing more than Larry writing his own biography and everything. I thought
it's
that
like
was
the more
better.
you learn about and they explain the lore, the more it's how much more dumb it's getting. It takes you out of it. It becomes unintentionally funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it happens. That's what happens when you have that space to fill. Yep. I'm curious to know what parents will feel about this, parents and people who know autistic children. This isn't a criticism, because there are children like this, but this is what we see with autistic kids all the time. Speechless, communicating through grunts and moans, erratic body movements, swaying back and forth, you know, running and being isolated in certain small areas because they're scared of what's outside. You know, I wonder how autistic parents feel about that, because that seems to be what we see all the time with autistic kids.
Well, you know, it's a spectrum, so it's going to be different for every parent.
Yeah.
You know, the amount, you know, how extreme it is.
Yeah, because that's not a criticism. I'm just saying I'm curious to see what parents who have autistic children would feel.
It would be interesting. I just wonder if you would get one set of parents who go like, "Oh, they nailed it," and another go like, "What? It's not like that."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It is for us. I don't know what
what you going through. You know, I'm kind of caught between two feelings here with this, because there are some major problems here from just length.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do appreciate something that is not so condescending to kids when it comes to the horror. You know, with this, again, without leaning too far on either side, there are moments here where it could be frightening for parents just with some of the imagery that's in there, and it will definitely be frightening for kids. But none of it is like too family friendly. None of it is too far to where where it's too scary for kids. I think it'll scare the shit out of kids, you know, smaller kids, and that's the point. And that's the point of it, you know. And that's where the condescending part comes in, because kids like to be scared like anybody else. And, you know, I don't know if they always need it with the, you know, something that's trying to be so family friendly. But, you know, that's my point is that I'm kind of caught between, on that level, it being a very low matinee, or do I just stick with the problems that the movie has overall and go with a rental, and a very positive rental. I think I'm gonna go with a positive rental, because the parts that I do have a problem with, they come from the filmmaking or the story part, you know, stuff that you need to tell a movie, you know. So yeah, with this, I give this a high rental, man. I didn't hate it. I actually thought some of the things that they did right in this were very good, and I enjoyed.
They had some moments that were like really fun. It was like, oh, that's kind of different. I thought you had a nice little scare there. Yeah. But other than that, it does the same things that all these horror films do, the tropes, the jump scares, and it's just unnecessary. And the big problem is that even you have those scares that are not even that great, it's so far in between all of them because of all this, that unnecessary 37 minutes that's in this. Yeah. And there are a couple moments where it's so unintentionally funny that I burst out laughing, especially the ending beat, which is supposed to be like this kind of cathartic, understanding moment, but also terrifying, and it comes off hilarious. I don't even want to say, maybe we'll save it to the end, but it's ridiculous. And I was like, anything that you meant with that final scene means nothing now, because I couldn't stop laughing. So I'm right there with you. I'd give this it's a rental.
Oh, Larry. Nobody wants to read your shit, Larry. All right, you want friends? You know, that's the thing. That's why you lonely, Larry. Stop making people read your shit.
Yeah,
it's annoying. You're annoying, Larry.
Nice drawings, and you didn't even draw those. Yeah, Larry, you have a lot more friends if you stop bugging the shit out of them. Larry's gonna be selling Amway next. This system really works, I tell you. You need some cleaning products. No, Larry, get that away from me. You know, I'm just gonna destroy this.